Hi, I'm Bill Hunt. I'm the CTO of Dianomic, and in this video we're going to install FogLAMP on a Raspberry Pi. Now there's many ways to install FogLAMP. You can install it via container, via virtual machine. You can install it via remote repository. You can install it via Linux repository, or you can purchase hardware with it pre-installed. In this case, we're going to install it on the raw Linux OS on this Raspberry Pi. So the Raspberry Pis are a common hobbyist single board computer. They run 35 to 50 bucks depending on the model you get. They have 4 USB ports, Ethernet, HDMI. You can hook a camera to it. This is the hard drive. It's a micro SD card that will install the OS and FogLAMP on. This is a SenseHat board. It runs roughly the same price, maybe $40. It's got a temperature sensor, humidity sensor, pressure sensor. It has a gyroscope, so it can detect tilt in the various dimensions. It's got an accelerometer, so it can detect acceleration in the 3 different dimensions. And it's got a magnetometer, so it can tell which way is north. It's also got a small joystick, 4 position joysticks, left, right, up, down. And it's got this 8x8 multicolor LED. So you'll need to install the OS first. When you get the board, they'll tell you how to do that. And setting it up is pretty straightforward. The SenseHat board plugs in to the Raspberry Pi, just like that. And then it takes a USB-B cable to power it up. So you power it on, and the lights come on. They turn off in maybe 20 seconds as the thing boots up. You'll also need an SSH client to access it. And if you are using a Mac laptop or a Linux laptop, that's built in. If you're using Windows, you'll want to get PuTTY, P-U-T-T-Y, or there are other ones, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so you want to set up networking first, Ethernet or Wi-Fi, and you can get instructions of how to do that when you get your Raspberry Pi. And then you'll want to SSH in, and you'll see something very similar to this. And the first thing you'll want to do is you'll want to update the operating system software and the associated files. So you'll type sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade -y. And I'm not going to do this because I've already done it, and it takes a while. If you're depending on how much software you have, it could be even 15 minutes. But you would hit enter, and once you do, you'll have an updated system. Next, you'll need to download a copy of FogLAMP. To do that, go to dianomic.com in your browser. Under Product, go to Download Packages, and fill out the form, including your email address. You'll receive an email that looks similar to this. You'll want to choose the FogLAMP version 1.7 for ARM-based devices Buster. Buster is the name of the Raspbian OS as of this date. And you'll right-click that and choose Copy Link Address. Next, we'll want to download FogLAMP. So we'll go back to our SSH session. We'll make a directory to put it in. Make dir FogLAMP and cd FogLAMP. And then we'll wget it. So wget, and then we'll right-click to insert the link that we got. You may have to type it in if your SSH client doesn't support automatic pasting. And then it will download a tarred file, a compressed file. And we can see the file here. So now we'll untar it. So we say tar xcf /FogLAMP, type the name of the file. And then we can see there's a new directory, FogLAMP. So we'll cd into FogLAMP. And inside there we've got 1.7.0, that's the version, so we cd into that. And we see here there's Buster is the name of the operating system. So we cd into that. And then we see ARM v7L, that's the name of the hardware architecture, so we cd into that. And then we see all of the different FogLAMP packages. So the way these work, let's see, I'm going to give a longer list here. The way this works is you'll see that each of the file names ends in -170, that's the version number, and then -ARMv7L, that's the hardware architecture, and then .deb, that's they're a Debian package. And so FogLAMP is the core FogLAMP. Then FogLAMP GUI is, as you'd expect, the GUI. Then you've got a number of South, FogLAMP-South. These are different plugins that can be used to bring data into the system, so data that's pulled from the south. Then you've got FogLAMP-North. These are ones that send data out north from the system, Kafka, HTTP, and so forth. Built in are ways to send data to OSIsoft's Pi server, so that's not a plugin. And then along the way, you've got filters. So we have a series of filters here that are ways of processing the data as it's flowing through, actually all the way from up here. So processing the data as it flows through. Then you've got the event engine. We actually have the event engine is a separate process itself. So the event engine itself is a plugin, or it's a package. And then the event engine supports two different types of plugins. One are rules. So rules are ways to detect anomalies. And then you've got notifications. So you've got a series of FogLAMP-Notify plugins. And these are, once a rule is triggered, these are the actions that are actually taken. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to install FogLAMP. And so what we do is we say sudo apt install -y /FogLAMP. And then we hit enter. And this will take a few minutes, and I'll cut this out of the video. All right, so now it's installed. And we'll just check. So on Linux, you can see all the packages that are installed with dpackage-l. And there's lots and lots of them. So if we run through those and we grep for FogLAMP, we can see that here's the FogLAMP package that's been installed. And it's version 1.70. It's of ARM architecture. And it's got description FogLAMP, the open source platform for the Internet of Things. And what we'll do is we'll go take a look. FogLAMP is installed in /user/local/FogLAMP. So we'll take a look inside there. And there are a number of directories. The ones that we care as a user, there's bin, which is where FogLAMP, the executable is stored. And when you run that, it'll pull in all the necessary pieces from other directories in lib, for example, extras and others. Then there's a data directory, and data is where all of the configuration data and all of the asset data are stored. So really everything that's configurable or that flows through the system is stored inside there. Also certificates, that sort of thing, are stored in there. Then also there's a plugins directory, and this is where the C++ plugins are stored. So if you're a developer and you're building C++ plugins, you would access that directory. And then there's also a Python directory, and inside the Python directory is where the Python plugins are stored. So again, if you're a developer writing Python plugins, you'd copy them into there. So what we can do is we can say we'll run bin/FogLAMP, and we'll say help just to see what the options are. And we can see that there are several options you can use with the FogLAMP script. So first there's start. So FogLAMP start would start up FogLAMP. When we installed it, it's automatically running. So it's actually running already. If you find yourself in a bad spot, maybe you've written a plugin that has some infinite loop or does something else wicked that sucks up all the resources and you can't actually access FogLAMP, you can start it with safe mode. So that's a valuable way to get around problems. Then there's also FogLAMP stop. That'll stop the service in an orderly fashion, clean everything up as it goes. FogLAMP kill will stop it just immediately without trying to clean up anything. So you don't often need to use that. FogLAMP status will give you a status of how it's doing. And FogLAMP reset will delete all the configuration and all the asset data and restore it to the factory settings. And then FogLAMP version will show you the version. And then, of course, FogLAMP help will do what we just saw here. So we'll do bin/foglamp status to see the status of it currently. And we can see it's running version 1.70. It's been up for 189 seconds. We haven't set up any south or north plugins, so we see 0 red and 0 sense. And of course, 0 has been purged. The purging process happens occasionally to get rid of data that's already been sent forward. And then FogLAMP by default comes up in insecure fashion. You don't have to authenticate to it. So you want to configure authentication before you roll it out into production. And then it lists the various microservices that are running. And right now there's 2 microservices running. There's FogLAMP Core and FogLAMP Storage. And Core is the orchestrator of everything, and Storage is where all the data is stored. And if there were additional services, for example, if we have the event engine running, it runs in its own microservice, and we would see it there. Or if we had south plugins running, we would see them running there too. Then there are also FogLAMP tasks, and there are none running right now. But if we set up a north plugin, by default, those are tasks because they're batch-based. So south services are always running, collecting data, and the north task runs periodically. So by default, the OSIsoft Pi server, when you send north to it sends data every 30 seconds. So it batches it up every 30 seconds and send it out. And you can reconfigure that to send, say, every 5 seconds, or you could even set it to send once a day if you were if you were in a very low power location, for example. So we'll stop FogLAMP. Bin/FogLAMP stop. And then if we run status, we'll see, in fact, that it stopped. So we'll say bin/FogLAMP status. And we can see it's not running. Then we'll start it again, bin/FogLAMP start. And bin/FogLAMP status. And now we can see it's running again. Normally, by the way, you wouldn't do many of the things that I'm showing you here. These are really if you're a developer and you want to dig into the internals of FogLAMP. So now also if you're a developer, you might you want to get debug messages, that sort of thing. All of the messages that are sent out of FogLAMP are logged in syslog. So if we say tail-10, see the last 10 lines of /var/log/syslog, we can see what's happened. And we can see this is where FogLAMP started at this time. Whoops. There we go. FogLAMP started. And then each of these running after this is where the scheduler is saying that it ran a process, in this case a stats collector process. So every 15 seconds there's a process that runs that collects statistics, and these are valuable if you want to graph what's going on. And that's the status. So now we'll go back to our directory. This is where we have all the packages, and we'll install the GUI. So we'll say sudo apt install -y /foglamp-GUI. And this will also take a couple minutes, so I'll pause the video here and restore when it's done. And now it's done. And so now we can again do the dpackage-l and grep FogLAMP. And now we see there's 2 packages installed, FogLAMP and FogLAMP-GUI, as we expected. And the files for the GUI are kept in /var/www/html. And if you're a Linux type person, this is a common place where those are kept. All right, so now if you open a browser and go to the IP address that your Raspberry Pi board is set up to, in this case 192.168.4.71, you'll see the FogLAMP GUI. And at the top, you've got a general status. So FogSense, if I've changed the host name of my computer to FogSense, meaning FogLAMP with the SenseHat board running on it. And then you can have, each of the fog lamps can have a different instance name. In this case, I just used the default fog lamp. If you hover over this, you can see the various microservices that are running or that have problems if you are having problems. So in this case, it'll show a FogLAMP core is running and FogLAMP storage is running. We don't have any data going in or out, so we see receive 0 and sent 0, and then the system has been up for 15 minutes and 31 seconds. We also have a power off. You can shut down FogLAMP, and we have a restart button here. You can restart it. The main page, the dashboard page, shows you the overall health of FogLAMP. There's a graph for the data that's coming into FogLAMP, and currently it's nothing. We don't have anything configured, so you see a bunch of zeros here. Once we configure a northbound interface, you'll automatically see a new graph showing you the outbound data, how much data is going out. You can see other kinds of graphs. You can see purge data and other sorts of things. And if once you have more southbound interfaces connected, you can see data for them. And you can also set different times to see the overall health of at different time rates. And then you've got a page for assets and readings. This shows you all of the assets that have been created either by southbound plugins coming in directly from sensors, or ones that have been created via data processing with filters, or data that's been created through events, if various events have happened and triggered new kinds of data. They'll all appear here, and you can see various graphs and details of that data. And then south is a page where you can configure and see the configuration of existing south services. In this case, there are none. You'd add them here. Same concept with north. So if you've got data going out, you'll see the list of the north instances here. If you have the event engine installed and configured, you'll see your notifications here. And those top 5 are really the typical places you'll go in the GUI. There's various other things you can configure. You can back up and restore FogLAMP. You can manage the certificates. You can manage the schedules of various tasks or see various logs. But really these top 5 are the main places that you'll go to. Now back at the SSH client, we're going to install the other plugins that are necessary. So let's take a look at what we've got here. And we'll install, so we're going to install, you can install any number of these. We're going to install the ones that are going to be used in the ongoing tutorials in this video series. So the first thing we'll install is the service, the engine, the event engine. That's this guy. So we'll say sudo apt install -y FogLAMP-service. Yep, what did I do? Oh, /FogLAMP-service. And then we'll also install 2 synthetic plugins, one called Sinusoid that generates a sine wave, and then another one called Random Walk that generates random data. And those are /FogLAMP-south-sinusoid, and one called /FogLAMP-south-random walk. And then we'll also install a south service to pull in real data from the SenseHat, and that is /FogLAMP-south-sensehat. And let's see, we'll also install a couple filters. One of them is a filter that applies an arbitrary mathematical equation to the data. So that's ./FogLAMP-filter-expression. And then another one called Python 3.5, which is a filter that will apply Python code to an asset data. So that's ./FogLAMP-filter-Python 3.5. And then we'll also install a notification rule, a notification plugin that will be triggered by events, and it will allow us to run Python code when a event is triggered. And it is called ./FogLAMP-notify-Python 3.5. And this Might take a couple minutes here, so I'll let that finish and then I'll come back to the video. Actually, it looks like it's just about done, so we won't pause. So you'll notice that when the Sense Hat one is installed, that's the last one that was installed here, South-Sense Hat, it threw up a message, and it says it's required to enable I2C on the Raspberry Pi. And what this means is that I2C is a physical interface that is used to, the Sense Hat uses that interface to connect to the Raspberry Pi and send data to it. And by default, that's disabled on the Raspberry Pi. Now, I've already enabled it on this particular one, but I'll walk you through how it's done. So it gives you the instructions here. So you say sudo raspi-config, that's step one. And then inside there, you'll go to the interfacing options. And inside there, you'll go to I2C. And this would say no. In this case, I've already enabled it, so it says yes. And then we would say OK. And then we would say finish. And then we would want to reboot the Raspberry Pi. As I say, I've already done that. So now we've got FogLAMP all installed on the Raspberry Pi, and the GUI and the necessary South plugins and filters and Event Engine plugins. And in the upcoming tutorials, we'll walk through using those. As I say, you can really, this is a good experience, but at the same time, for many people, they won't actually go through this because you can purchase hardware with FogLAMP already installed. You can run it in a container. You can run it in a virtual machine. And so this raw install is really more for developers, but you may find it useful even if you're not one. Hope this has been useful, and I'll talk to you on the next videos.